Okay, a recap from last time. The party had continued their onslaught against the horde of Coldlight Walkers, surviving the 4 rounds you were supposed to, and essentially at the end of that 4 rounds, you all heard a childlike laughter coming from in the back of your heads, and you watched as essentially the Coldlight Walkers were all pulled into the abyss, and the visage of Oral that was emanating through the clouds was broken by what Athros had recognized as the Child of the Red Sun, and the party was introduced to them once they boarded the ship and met with Ono, who was in the captain's seat. The cue a awkward conversation about a renegotiation of a contract with the Child of the Red Sun, and everyone being, well, maybe not everyone, Athros in particular being very disappointed in that action with Ono, not really speaking to him at this moment. The party then proceeded to find the extremely old, barrel of wine that had been sitting in this ship since freaking who knows however many 100 years it was. A very, very aged, very potent ancient wine. Got completely shit-faced, with the exception of Miras, who was pretty okay until he went to bed. And the party took a well-deserved rest, venturing their way while the ship was moving, powered by Ono, venturing north. The party took a fantastic long rest nap. Some of you on the floor, some of you on beds, as after a decent amount of time, you found yourselves parked outside the city of Bryn'Shander, and according to Matra, who kind of came to wake all of you, the ship has been parked for probably a few hours now. So the ship arrived at some point while you were sleeping. And Ono was nowhere to be found. And for that matter, I don't believe Valine was either. Valine went somewhere in town. The party, using this opportunity, after sobering up a little bit with some, I don't have any other words to describe it other than hand meats, that Matra had acquired from the Northlook. Oh yeah, and using the what do you want to call it, create food and water spell, just to get things knocked out a little sooner versus walking all the way to the Northlook. The party went to spend some of your recently acquired cash and went to speak to Garn and Elza at Black Iron Blades to start. Put in some requests. Athros put in a request based off of the recent shipment of Mithril that they had acquired, to have a full set of Mithril plate put in at a remarkably 60% discount price. And Ibrin had pondered the idea of some explosive arrows, and Garn kind of described what they could do, gave you some of the specifics for that. And then I believe, besides if Miras wanted anything or if Ibram was thinking of anything else, I know some bracers that were left by Kneat with Black Iron Blades for archery were brought up. Unless Miras wanted something that he was requesting, I believe Big Tune asked where you could find some of the more dangerous items here in Bryn'Shander, to which Garn and Elza kind of looked to each other and mentioned, well, our dangerous items, like, that we really don't sell, are within, like, Mishan at the House of the Morning Lord has them locked in a vault somewhere within the House of the Morning Lord. And that you'd probably want to speak to her. Otherwise, like, if you're looking for just a little bit better equipment, like, Scramsax from the Northlook used to be a mercenary, and so he still has some items that he's acquired in his travels. But for dangerous items, Mishan's the person you should talk to. And I think that's where we left off. So the party would be still inside the Black Iron Blades conversing with Garn and Elza. Garn going back to finish up the task that he was the request that he was already working on when you guys stopped in, before beginning the process of melting and smelting the mithril into a set of armor for Athros. But he said he would take, I believe it was
8 hours.
It was 8 hours for perfection. He could probably rush it in 6 if you didn't care about the inspection process. But you were like, I want perfection, so you'd have 8 hours that you would minimally have to be occupying yourself in town doing something.
And then I also did buy that shield that they had that gave fire and lightning resistance.
That was the item that I did not make yet. Okay. You will have a shield. I did not. I had a list of things and I completely forgot to add that one, so I will have that ready for you before next session. But in the meantime, if you get attacked by those, just plan that it'll be half damage. So, I guess you're currently left to your own devices. I know Elza had made mention, because you showed off Adamant Avalanche to her, Big Tune, that should you decide to sell it, to please put her near the top of your list, as she is very interested and would offer a good price for it. And yeah, I think that's where we left off, as you're inside Black Iron Blades right now.
Mirrors, are you gonna?
I think I might
need
look
anything here.
I think I might need some just new armor in general.
What are you currently wearing?
Right now I'm wearing studded leather armor. Is that like the best thing I can be wearing right now for my character, or is there I guess something different I could wear? Or
if you would like, because I think warlocks are only proficient in light armor.
Okay.
It would mean you could, since they do have mithril as an option. Mithril, I believe, is considered a light armor.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to verify that real quick.
It is light armor only for warlocks.
I wonder if it's heavy armor, but it's considered light armor because of the weight.
No, so for 5th edition, it's a little weird. Mithril, by default, just doesn't give you the penalty for disadvantage on stealth. In other editions, it would also weigh half as much. And then I think there's a carryover of Mithril chain shirt where it's considered light armor, or you're considered proficient in it, or it's basically a chain shirt, a little more.
Oh, got you. Never mind. It is it's medium to heavy armor. Yeah, it just removes the disadvantage from your stealth rolls, like you said. Let me see what I got in my reserve.
Well, feel free to change that as the DM.
Oh, I know.
I think I definitely want to just go to Scramsax first, see what he's got before I go over to once we're finished here. I don't know if anybody wants to go check out what he's got as well.
I'd love to, but I have no money.
I would want to go to the House of the Morning Lord to see if they have health potions. Otherwise, find a book on how to make them.
Well, I'm definitely going to go over that way too. I just want to stop over by Scramsax to see what he's got, if he's got anything cool first.
I'll hand Ibrin a scroll of Cure Wound because I can't read it.
I will gladly take the scroll and be like, well, this is new. Thank you.
Yeah, it's something I can't use. So, yeah, I don't know if...
Tim just thinks it's super powerful magic, and that's why you can't use it.
It's in a language I can't speak or read, which is all of them. I can speak a bunch of languages. I just can't read any of them.
The option to drag and drop that, or do I just have to...
I have no idea.
If I add it directly to your sheet, let me see if I have...
I think it was something that... It was in the...
I can add it to your sheet. I have I have access to. I made a specific piece of paper for it. Alright, you should have, Ibrin, somewhere in your inventory a scroll of cure wounds now. If you don't, I will try it again.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, because it was Ono's.
Yes, oh no. Allegedly, every time he takes a long rest, he's been trying to, before he goes to bed, try and write
Oh, there we go.
a scroll of cure wounds or a scroll of magic missile as just items to have on hand. So he probably has a supply of them. Whether or not he's giving them all out, I mean, that's entirely up to me to decide. And I'm going to say you'd have to ask him.
And I don't think he's too happy with me right now, so maybe bribing me with a bunch of gifts is a good idea.
Ooh, that is a very good way to go.
Yeah.
Do you seriously have like no gold at all? Like
I
zero?
have 12. I've spent, I think, 2,000 just now, so
Yeah.
I still got a decent chunk now,
yeah.
even
Oh,
after
well, no,
laying
I
down
picked up-
25.
No, I spent 3,000 total.
You
I
spent
just-
a lot.
Give some of my items up. Yeah.
Well, we could hurry up with whatever what's her face wants us to get done, and you'll have more gold then. Because
This
we
is true.
took half up front, right?
I believe it was.
Oh,
was
Baleen.
it? Yeah, I believe it
Yeah.
was half. You guys negotiated half. She was willing to pay you.
Baleen,
I think
yeah.
it was like 2,500, and you guys negotiated up to half because of reasons. Miras, upon mention of maybe looking to upgrade your armor, Elza behind the counter would like give you a once over and see what you're wearing. I might have something that you could probably use. It has a little more reinforcements. It ain't much, but it's better than what you're wearing. And she would like run to the back really quick, and pull out from, like, you would hear a crate kind of open and close, and she pulls out a different set of studded leather armor, but this one has a little bit more reinforcement and like padding, especially like along like the chest area and like the legs.
Okay.
It's very similar to what you're wearing. You probably won't notice much. You might feel a little more what's the word? You have a little more cushion inside. Maybe certain blows might not hit you as often. For in-game, for like above table, it would be like +1 studded leather armor versus the standard. So you'd have an additional +1 to your AC if you wanted
Okay.
to take it. This armor right here, on average, usually runs about 1,200 or so. I would be willing to part with it for about 700 gold pieces. Given that you're all, as we've said many a time, the heroes of Bryn'Shander.
Well, I'd be more than happy to take anything that's an upgrade compared to what I'm wearing now. So,
If you're interested in selling what you have, and she like looks, just gives it like a once over. You see like she like runs her hand like across the armor, feeling over where like the metal plates and stuff like that are kind of built in. I would give you an additional 350 off if you trade yours in. So it'd be 20 minus 350. It'd be about 370 gold or so. Not a bad price for an upgrade for all of you.
I think that's actually a pretty fair deal. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
And she would begin writing up the forms, setting the studded leather on the counter. There's like for like trying things on, there is like a small area. It's not really like closed off from everybody, but like if you didn't want to just strip in front of your teammates, like you would have the luxury of privacy to kind of like change into a new set of armor. And by the time you'd get back out, she would have just typical like paperwork for like signing, agreeing for purchase, and then like what you're trading in, the total value. Again, dollar amounts line up the same. You see 370 on the line, and then you could sign and then change over your gold. So whatever you have minus 370, and you would officially have a set of +1 studded leather. I can put that on your character sheet.
Okay.
Just, I don't have to worry about it later. should be taken care of. All right. Ibrin, were you like, I know we talked about it briefly, lad, but did you want us to try and commission you some explosive arrows or anything, or were you interested in these bracers? Do you want some time to think about it? I mean, you're going to be here for about 8 hours or so.
I think I'm gonna think about it.
Sounds
Good
good.
call, because who knows what these other guys got. Not to say that your stuff isn't good, but like there might be some.
I also don't want us to
dangerous
blow
shit.
up. So I need to decide how lethal I need to make my stuff.
You fall on your quiver, it explode. We all die.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I
Not
wouldn't
worth our
die,
while.
but I'm clearly indestructible, so.
Right.
I would like to sleight of hand, just pull a hair out from the opposite side of Big Tune.
You're trying to, like, stealthily pluck a hair.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll roll both if you want.
Yes.
Should I roll against that? I don't even know if I can beat that. Oh, okay.
You could try. It would be a perception check.
At 20s right away.
You have no idea. You feel something possibly on your one side. You kind of slapped your side of your neck, but like Ibram would have already plucked the hair, thinking some sort of like somehow a bug maybe that like got in up here.
Oh, dude,
Dang.
you're right. Why are you slapping yourself?
I just felt a fly buzz by or something. I don't know. It tickled
Fly
me.
in the cold. Huh.
I mean, are you really questioning anything we see anymore?
Yes, yeah, fair point. Alright. Where are we going now? We're gonna go up to see Scram Daddy.
Grim Daddly Dim Sacks.
That's well, Mirrors, you got your armor. How's it fit? You like it? It's white.
I think it fits pretty good. Kind of the same as the other one, but just a little bit more reinforced.
There we go. Yeah.
It is very cozy.
Aethros, buddy, you ready?
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Giggity go.
All right, you're heading up to see Scramsax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what he's got first.
Okay. You make your way outside and begin walking back up towards the north gate where you know the North look to reside and where your vessel currently is. And I want to say, I'm gonna say, Big Tune. I want you to roll I'm gonna say a new. Wait, no, hold on. What's your passive perception? 14. I want you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. As you guys are, I would say you're probably about a third of the way walking up the road towards the North Look. Big Tune, you hear some commotion coming out from behind, from somewhere from behind you. It sounds like some kids, and you end up ducking out of the way as one of them tries to hurl a snowball at your face. They seem really, really you can tell it in some way they're upset. They're probably about 20-ish feet away, a rather big distance. The kids are probably pushing adolescent. What are you doing here? Why are you back?
Why do you care?
And you see that as you turn back to talk to him, he you see there's you can hear the sounds of maybe some sniffling, and there's like a set of tears kind of rolling down his eyes. It's all your fault.
You want to continue that sentence? Like, I mean, like, if I'm not denying it, I just have no idea what you're talking about.
When that dragon, that thing, and like you look over and you see that there's like the place where like the charlatan dragon like died, like right out in front of town hall. You see like a lot of the snow is still like cleared. There's maybe like a new fresh set from like the most recent storm that came through. When that thing came, and you guys were fighting it, it killed my dad.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, I'm sorry, but like, would you rather have had the alternative where everybody in the town died? Like,
Correction. Everybody in the north died. All the
right,
towns.
like,
So my dad's life doesn't mean anything.
I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but unfortunately, I mean, I'm assuming he died protecting this town, or at least attempting to protect this town. So, I mean, there is honor in that.
Which would make your father a hero.
Right.
The boy, he kind of like looks down. He has like another snowball prepped, like he was gonna throw it. He just like looks down, and like you can see that he's like visibly upset. And like this, like a friend of his is just like pats him on the back, and she like looks down at the snowball, and kind of just like takes it from his hand. She's like, you know, if they didn't come, if they weren't here when it arrived, they're right. We might not be here. Like, even if it didn't level all of Bryn'Shander, there's no guarantee that we would be here. Like, your dad didn't die in vain. And he just like looks at her. He like just kind of pushes her away. She's like, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. And he just like takes off and runs back into like the side street that he was on. The girl, maybe being like a little bit older, maybe like around 14 or so, about the same stature, although human versus elven compared to Matra, just like kind of walks up to your group, and at the very least within like the 5-10 feet range of like most of you, and just like, I'm sorry about him. He well, he has a really rough home life. I don't.
Are you guys hungry, or like, do you need food? Like,
No. We well, it was when the spirits, the shadow people attacked, he lost his mom, and when the charlatan dragon attacked, his dad was on his way home to help him and his younger brother. He's living with us, and his brother is too, but he holds a lot of resentment for what happened. It's not your fault. I thank you all for what you did. I'm really grateful, and I'm sure deep down he is too, but it just might take him a little while longer. I wasn't expecting, well, we weren't expecting you all to be here today, and I think he just let his anger get the best of him. So you handled him well, better than what someone from the town guard might have. So you have my thanks.
If it makes you feel better, we didn't expect to be here either. And we're here now.
If it's any kind gesture, this is all I can muster. And she like pulls out like 5 gold pieces, which is quite a bit for someone up in Bryn'Shander here to just kind of have on them. And she like extends it outward like towards you, Big Two, and like, thank you all. I could give you each one a piece if you wanted, but I don't think she like doesn't really have a way to formulate the words.
Just keep it. It's okay. We have more than what we need right now, and if you need it, please don't worry about it.
I'll hold out my hand. I'll take it. But I'll give you something in return.
Okay. And she like looks towards Ibrin and like would place the gold in his hand.
I reach my pocket and then I pull out a small sack and then I give it to her, and it's 50 gold pieces.
And like the weight of the gold, like she isn't expecting it to be that much. As she like almost drops it, she has to like scramble her hands to hold on to it. This is a lot. Why? Can I ask?
You took in a friend, crush, somebody who lost their family. This is gonna help, hopefully, keep you guys going for a while. So stay warm, buy plenty of food, save it while you can, and spend it when you can as well.
Thank you. This'll supply all of us for, well, a little while, long while. I don't know what to say.
Thanks is usually a good start, and then you can run off and go make sure he doesn't do anything dumb.
I make no promises he won't do stupid things, but I'll do my best. Thank you, all of you.
What was your name again?
Where are my manners? I'm Lyra. Just Lyra's fine. I've been in Bryn'Shander all my life, and well, with everything that's happened recently, it feels like a totally different town. But yeah, thank you, thank you so much. If you ever need a place to stay, I'm sure you have your own places and connections, but if something happens and you need a place, like you're more than welcome to. I mean, we have plenty of space. You'd be able to stay by us. Like I said, I'm sure you have your other things, like, I know, but just know that you're always welcome.
And where is this place?
We're actually, we're located not too far from the, where that old where the cold storage building is. There were that big crater appeared a while back. We're one of the buildings that are off of where the crater is. They're not filling it. They're never gonna fill it. But we're probably one of the only buildings that are occupied over there yet. So if you see a light on, it's probably our house around that area.
Huh.
Well, maybe we'll come visit at some point.
Giant crater here. That definitely was not us involved in that. Right, guys?
Yeah, I don't even know what a crater is.
Exactly.
Ebron, make a deception check.
Fuck.
I'll say with advantage because of Big Tune.
Deception.
Double nat 1.
She seems to believe you. Oh, right. I don't know who would have done that. I don't know how it happened, but I'm glad it wasn't you. I'm gonna go check and see how he's doing. Thank you again. I'll let you get on your way. And she like just in a hurry kind of begins to head back where the direction she came from.
Well, that was kind of rude. She never even asked what my name was. I just gave her 50 gold. Well, technically 45, but whatever. All right. We're going to go see Scram Daddy still, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
You continue making your
I'm
way.
going to take a few steps behind Big Tune. And like out of nowhere, gonna lightly toss a snowball at him. Like right shoulder. I'm not trying to inflict damage or anything.
You're just gonna pick one up and just lightly toss it at him.
Yep. Did that fucking kid come back and throw a snowball at you?
As the two of you, well, actually all of you, would make your way to the north look, you would see the familiar doors, and sign outside. You can tell that in recent events that have happened here, the north look seems to have been mostly unaffected, given that the shadows really didn't seem to destroy structures, and the Charlatan Dragon focused more on the center and southern parts of town. As you take a few steps inside, you feel the familiar warm heat of the hearth on the right side of the building. You would see the also familiar sight of Scramsax cleaning off the countertop, putting away someone's like dirty dish, and like his attendant who's kind of like running around and checking on tables. At this point in the day, I would say your average, like it would be pretty light. There's a couple patrons that are like at the bar counter itself. Maybe a group of dwarves that are sitting at one of the tables playing some cards. But otherwise, it's pretty quiet. And Scramsax would look at all of you, and a big grin. While trying to hide it, it's very hard for him to hide his enthusiasm. Seeing you all walk in the door, you can tell that he's definitely fighting the smile muscles for a hot second as he sees you all walk in. Well, I'll be damned. Wasn't sure the next time I'd see all you come through town.
Yeah, I mean, from what I was told, I don't want to say you were intentionally, but it sounds like you were kind of holding out on us last time we were here. We were told, you got some cool stuff hanging around here that's not milk.
I got that too, if that's something you're after. It's like, that's on a little chuckle.
Maybe if we stay the night.
I'm gonna take a gander and say that it was Garn who sold me out. Would I be right in that assumption?
I mean, you're the one that said it, not me.
Well, yeah. I used to be a mercenary back in the day. Many of the townsfolk, it might have come up in conversation, but word doesn't really spread that fast, so I assume they've been keeping it quiet. Yeah, I got some items from my travels. Mostly different blades of sorts more than anything else. I got a couple that I've still held on to. Really don't use them. They've been hanging in my personal collection for the last probably 10 years or so. And he's like in his 50s, so he has like gray hair and stuff like that. At least graying, like there might be some streaks of gray more than anything else. As he strokes his small beard that he has going. I guess if you want to take a look, and he would like look over to the attendant. Layla, please hold down the fort for me. I gotta tend to some good friends of mine. I'll be back in, well, hopefully maybe just a few minutes, but I don't know. So keep people busy. And she like looks over. Right, Scramsax. I'll do what I can. And he like gives her an affirmative nod and like gives you all a signal to kind of follow him back through the door to the kitchen. Actually.
Sorry, I missed that. I was pay attention for a second to my.
Nah, that's okay. Essentially, he told his attendant, whose name is Layla, to hold down the fort, and that he was going to be tending to quote unquote some friends of his. We don't know when he'll be. He doesn't know exactly when he'll be back out, but he estimates it won't be that long.
Okay.
And then tells you all to signals you all to follow him back through the kitchen.
All right. Yeah, I'll follow.
Everybody else going along?
Yep.
I'm gonna go sit by the fire.
Ooh.
Stare at the flame.
Okay. As you take
Have a
yourself a
drink.
seat, yeah, he would like, Layla would come up and just like, bring you like a tankard of some form of ale or alcoholic beverage of your choice, and you basically, if you need anything, like just hit the signal for her to come over and give you whatever you need. As the rest of the party, unless anybody else wasn't planning on joining, would venture with Scramsax. You venture through the kitchen, And I don't think any of you have actually been back in the kitchen before. I think it's mainly just been hearing the noises that were coming from outside. And he would lead you back through the to the far corner of the kitchen, and there's like another doorway that leads down a set of stairs into like a basement of the North Look. He would like light a torch just in the stairway, not having to come down here for most of the day, and it would lead to one more door that would open up into his personal quarters. You see that he has like his own. Essentially, it's like a college dorm as far as like size down here, except much larger bed. He has like a set of what looks to be just full plate armor sitting on like a mannequin stand, and then you see hanging on the wall is a couple of different swords. Like I said, I don't use these very often. Honestly, they're more of a scare tactic. If someone doesn't pay their tab with me, well, and he like looks to you and like in a very serious tone for like a brief moment, he's like, "Just make sure you pay off your tab." As he pulls off this the first sword off of the rack, and you would see it's a form of rapier, sheathed in a very ornately decorated whatever you want to call it, like I don't freaking know. I don't know my sword terms that well. I should brush up on them. The sheath itself is very, very ornately decorated. It seems to tell like the story of one of his battles through imagery. This one right here, I acquired when I was. Let me pull up my world map. I acquired this one when I was fighting in. I was hired to fight a battle for at the time for the High King of Hiroshima. Not directly, mind you, he has people for that, but I was hired by Hiroshima to join one of the militias down in the King's Plains, and we were fighting off opposing forces of just well, when I encountered them, they were really nothing more than a bunch of bandits. Didn't need a lot of us to deal the damage there, but when we slew the bandit captain, he had this on him, and as well, the person who took care of the captain himself, I was the one who claimed rights to the blade. It's a rather unique blade in the sense that, well, when you deal a very powerful piercing strike, it deals extra damage that seems to corrode the flesh a little bit, and you feel almost like a revitalization of sorts when you're fighting. I'm not sure if it's just an adrenaline rush or you feel a buffer, but I haven't used it as much as what I would like, but when I've used it, it's filled me with some form of vitality by hitting a critical blow. And for above table, you would hear this as a rapier of life stealing. Essentially, you roll a 20, so you roll 20 on the attack roll, and the target takes an extra 3d6 necrotic damage, as long as they're not a construct or an undead, and you gain temporary hit points equal to the extra damage dealt. So if you dealt 18, if you dealt 18 necrotic damage, you would get 18 temporary hit points on your critical hit. So
does that healing also stack? Like, say, if Aethros has this Twilight Zone thing going on, does it like the temp HP stack with that?
Temp HP in general does not stack, so it would just replace whatever he had. So if he rolled a 9 and you rolled, let's say, a 12, you would now have 12 temporary HP. Temporary HP isn't as cool.
But it could also be the verse where he has 9 and you roll a 3. You gotta switch to 3 then?
I think the rules as written is the most recent source of temp HP overrides your previous.
I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
That's why we were like, if we were good on it during that, we were just like, no, we don't need to re-roll.
He would place the sword back upon its it's placed on his shelf, and you would see below that as he grabs that he has a longsword this time that he pulls off the shelf. This one, the sheath itself seems to be battered and tattered. Doesn't have like an ornate decoration or anything on it. You can tell that this one between the three blades that he has sitting on his rack, that this one's probably the one that he's used the most often. As he unsheathes the sword, it looks very similar to almost any longsword that you've seen, but you feel a magical presence. Since each of you who are here in some way have a connection to the weave, whether it's very, very initial or, your expanded knowledge that you have now. Now this one right here, and he has a smile that comes across his face. This one is known as a giant slayer, and he distances himself a little bit, and he swings it around lightly in the chamber. This one, it's a very targeted blade, very sharp. You would not want to. Well, it'll make you bleed. Don't get me wrong, but it's especially useful. I'm sure you've heard of blades that they target things like dragons or aberrations or, creatures that maybe many people would struggle with. This blade is specific to giants. I acquired this blade in my travels down at the Iris and the Pupil. I was there not so much on... I wasn't there hired as a guard or anything. I was there traveling my way back up from the lower continent, Vas'Kai. And a merchant had this one for sale. And particularly one of the great benefits of this blade, and it's why I generally carry it on my person, at least up until I hung it up and opened up this tavern, is when you fight against giants, when you are targeting them for whatever reason. I don't need to know why you'd be fighting giants, but when you target them, it has a unique ability to stagger and knock them off balance. The amount of times I've knocked giants on their ass. Well, if I got paid for every time I knocked a giant on their ass, I'd be a rich man. I'm not rich by any means here. He tries to validate himself, but I've spent my savings. If I still knock giants on their ass, I'd be a rich man. So essentially, it's a Giant Slayer longsword. It's a +1 sword, and it deals an extra 2d6 damage to giants, and of the weapons type. So this one would be slashing, and they have to succeed on a DC 15 strength save or fall prone. And giant refers to any creature with the giant type, which includes things like Etons and trolls. So, a particularly useful sword for certain places like mountain ranges, or since, you've encountered things like frost giant skeletons, a blade that can be useful at other times. This one was usually my main weapon that I carried. I did a lot of hunting work as a mercenary. I've been in my past. I've been recruited but refused to join the Wayard's Bounty, the people based out of Hiroshima that do a lot of the monster hunting type work. I've done a couple things for them, but they've asked me to join, and I was at the point of retirement. I didn't really see a need to, but I did what they needed me to do.
Nice. Nice.
And the last one that you would see.
Nice.
This one.
Or not.
Omax.
Be nice to mommy.
The last one that you would see hanging on his rack, the lowest ring, being at about honestly arm's level, easily reachable from his bedside. You would notice, any of you, is another rapier. This one designated its sheath ornately decorated with the trickle of multicolored flame, similar to the armor that the shield that I honestly think that Aether's bot that has the resistance to certain elements, you see like while the flame itself is like engraved as like metal, you see that there's different shades, like as if there's like different materials or different processing work to make the alternative colors as it comes up to like a red leather top. He pulls it off the shelf and he turns around to face all of you. This one was probably one that I didn't use it the least. It was usually my backup weapon should the giant slayer, get disarmed from my hand, or maybe I felt that it was a better fit. Honestly, this might seem kind of familiar to you. As he pulls out the rapier, you see that written on the blade itself, what looks to be like in Draconic, is some form of enchantment. And it kind of pulsates very, very slowly, like red along the blade, giving it almost like a slightly, almost like a flame crackling hue as the letters of the enchantment kind of rotate at what point they're pulsing. The blade itself also seems to have a similar, like beneath the enchantment, you can tell that this blade was crafted with another flame-like design that kind of runs along the middle, separating the two halves of the blade that come up to that point that rapiers usually do. The enchantment over the top of that. This rapier, upon using saying its word of command, the command that's creates the effect, will burst into flame, giving you extra fire damage that you can inflict on your foes. Something I guess I would consider pretty useful up here in the north. When I would intimidate people, truthfully, this was the weapon that I would go around to those who didn't pay their tab and intimidate them with, and wouldn't you know, the next day or so they'd pay their tab. Funny how that works. Am I right? And he like chuckles off to himself, gives off a cough at the end of it. Essentially, it's out of above table. This would be known as a flame tongue rapier. You would be familiar with the concept of a flame tongue rapier because I think all of you, except for maybe Ono, who was attached to the Charlatan Dragon at one point, this is a weapon that Knut carries on his person as well. Albeit maybe a variation, different creator, like the same concept, different weapon. But he also carries a flame tongue rapier. His word is, like, each of them have a different command word to activate. But a flame tongue rapier, you have flames that shed out of the blade, and it creates bright light out to a 40-foot radius and dim light for an additional 40 feet. So it brightens up, the area immensely. And it deals an extra 2d6 fire damage to any target it hits. And then essentially you say the command word again to deactivate it, or if you drop or sheathe your sword, it automatically deactivates the command word. So you have to have it in your hand. You could throw it at someone and pray that it hits. As he doesn't, instead of, you would expect him to activate the command word, but instead he like swings it a few times and then places it back in the sheath, and then actually uses it to kind of prop himself up a little bit, almost like a cane. Not that he's like old enough that he really needs one, but you can tell that, he did take a little bit of damage at some point between two of the battles. You can kind of see like there's some new marks on him, but he just uses it kind of like hold himself up for a moment before walking over to his bed, sitting down, and then he'd put it back on the shelf. That's those are my goodies that I have. I used to wear a ton of different types of armor depending on the day and, well, the quest or who I was hired by, but I've hung those up and sold those at various points in my career. I wear what you see over there, and you see like just like the full plate armor that's sitting on the mannequin, and that's those are the goodies that I have. But I guess, do any of them pique your interest? It's not that I wouldn't part ways with them, but I'd be lying if I said that my prices aren't a little steep.
No, and I mean, they're special to you, so I mean, I'm not like it's unfortunately it's not anything that I'm my compatriots here, but not anything I'm looking for. However, it was cool to really cool to see them, and as a person who collects weapons like that, you might you might be interested in seeing the new sword that I got here after we left town, and I pull out the Adamant Avalanche and activate its whip, or the long range and then the short range, and show them it all around.
And he would, as he's sitting there and you, like, distance yourself a little bit to be able to extend the blade out, even if it's not to the full 15 feet, just showing that it has that increased range, and then retracts back to that of a bone-looking sword. And he, like, strokes his beard. Well, I can't say I've seen one of those before. Where'd you acquire this one? And he has like a very inquisitive look as he looks through the party, but particularly to you, Big Toon.
Pretty sure it's made out of like it came from like the bones of a big old worm thing that we killed. So, understandable why you probably wouldn't have seen it.
That is something that I'd definitely be interested in. Although, if you've spoken to Garn and Elza, I can tell you that Elza's probably someone who, well, I think she could pay you more for it than I could right now. But,
yeah, unfortunately, she did call dibs on that, so.
It is a very interesting blade, though. Very, very fitting to come from somewhere up here. I don't know how useful it'll be fighting some of the creatures that you see traversing the north here that, I have been used to the cold, but I feel as though you'll find your use for it. When you do, it's going to shine.
So, what do you two think? Yeah, are you guys interested in either of any of these weapons? I know you said the prices were steep, but I turn around to make sure that my party members are still here with me.
I'm out by the fire, so it's Mary.
No, I know you're not there.
I guess how much is the flame tongue rapier?
He would, you would see him, like, look at it over on the wall, and he would, think about it for a moment. Well, things like these, they don't come around very often, especially up here. I say, as I know the Tabaxi Kanit, who you're all familiar with, also has one. The irony of that is, well, he like mumbles something to himself. When I got it, way back in my heyday, well, I think I overpaid for it. But I know that if I were to try and sell it to Garden Elza, and they try to resell it, they themselves would probably charge about 5,000 gold pieces. I'd be looking to get about 3,500 gold pieces for it. And that's factoring in you all being, a friendly discount, as well as the fact that you guys have helped the town. It's a decent price off, but it's still pretty expensive. One of my dogs is doing the potty dance. We're going to take just 5 minutes. I'm so sorry to pause you right now. We're going to take 5 minutes so I can go let my pups out, and then I will be right back, and we can continue this. 3,500 gold pieces. That's where I leave it at right now. I'll be right back.
That dude's been entering and leaving this entire time. How rude.
Is that what's going on? I keep hearing it. I'm not on my
Yeah.
screen right now.
In and out, and in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
I went to go see Scram Sacks. We're not at a brothel, Athros.
Hmm.
Okay, so I think my headset just fucked up because I couldn't hear anything, and yeah, now I'm on my phone.
Well, Dakota is going to be gone for 5 minutes, so if you want to try to get your headset to work, you can.
I'm just gonna use my phone for now, and then I don't know if it's because it's not the battery dead on it, which is usually the issue. I forget to charge it, but
What's your headset?
what?
What kind of headset do you have?
It's Steel Series wireless something or other. I don't know.
I got the Astro 20s. And when the battery gets low, they make these annoying beeping sounds. And it gives you like no break in between. It's
Oh
like
no,
a
there's
3-second break and it goes right back into it. It's like, motherfucker, relax.
So yeah, on mine there's like for the microphone, there's a little red light that like you can mute it on the headset, but if the battery's dying, it will flash red, so you can see it usually before you know it's gonna die.
Did you hear the swords that he was offering, or?
Except for no.
Okay, so there's a Ian's currently interested in a flame tongue rapier that's there. There was a giant slayer longsword? Yeah, longsword. And then a rapier of what the hell, of life stealing.
Rapier of Life Stealing might be cool because I think I heard parts of that where it's a temp HP that you can get.
Yep.
But the rest of those wouldn't be interested in it, and I got that cool Warhammer that I feel like is going to be better than.
Not to mention that the other rapier is like 3,500. He said, and that's with a discount.
Yeah, I can't afford that. I'm like, maybe after we finish our mission and we get that like second half of the gold, then maybe. But
I'm saving my
You
money.
could see if there's a
hoping that
layaway option.
oh
Yeah. I'm
Like,
saving my
can I
money,
give you-
hoping that the Morning Lord has for a good price. I don't even know what
Or
I'm
can we
looking
go-
for, but I'll know it when I see it.
Or can we take this giant flying ship back to that city with the one lady? Hey, you sold us a bunch of health potions for like, what was it? 10 gold pieces?
I was super cheap.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
can I have like...
that was down in the Menzo Canese, I think, right?
Something like that. I'm not
When we were like
I'm not- I
underground
can't
and
look.
shit.
Yeah. But if it's 10 gold pieces again for a health potion like that, like, yeah, I'm taking 100. Here you go.
Yeah, why does
I
the
mean,
guy
we
get
could-
bought?
I mean, yeah, we can just store them on the ship now. Now that we have actual storage on the ship. We have any on there currently? No, everybody kept theirs. Okay. I have like 3 left, so.
Oh.
Hey, hey, look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Oh yeah. So the other thing I noticed, Nick, was that you know those rings of warmth we have?
Yes.
Apparently they're worth 1,000 gold pieces each.
Holy shit. Well, alright, cool. If there's something good there, then I'm definitely trading that bitch in.
Yeah. It does give you resistance to cold damage.
Oh, I know. But I mean,
And if he chooses to make the environment actually hostile, it would be very useful.
oh, absolutely. But I'm just hoping that there is something
Yeah.
that well, we've talked about. I don't know if he's gonna quite give it to us yet, but you never know.
I wouldn't mind one of those rings right now. I'll make the Infinity Gauntlet of Rings. Regeneration,
Right?
cold and heat.
Mhm. It does require attunement, so
It does.
that's the one downside.
So you'd have to spend it a long rest, basically.
But yeah, pretty soon I'm going to be resistant to almost everything. Because I'm naturally resistant to radiant and necrotic damage. The ring gives me resistance to cold. The shield I just got gives me resistance to fire and lightning. And then the cloak that I have,
Yeah, you are the true tank
gives
at
me
this point.
resistance to all damage. Yeah.
I'm more of like a DPS tank. I mean, not that you can't, but like that's where my build is focused at this point.
Yeah.
That's what your build's focused on, and then that also amplifies my guy, because then it's an extra 3d6 when you're within 5 feet.
Yeah, it's nice to have two of us because there's a good chance that one of us will almost always be next to somebody. So
Which, the last fight we're in, me getting sneak attack was like 28 damage, me not getting it was like 8 damage. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Well, it's the sharpshooter that gives you a +10. That's the big thing. Because the 3d6, that averages out to, what, 9.5? Or no, 10 damage?
Right.
So, yeah. But, no, that was also a fight where we didn't need to go out and try and kill all those guys. It's just, okay, survive. And that's why I was just standing there, not really doing much. I'm like, we can wait it out.
And honestly, I'm just looking at Ono's character sheet. If we desperately needed the money, that alchemy jug is worth 6,000 gold. So
It shouldn't be. That should be like 600.
I am back.
It should be an uncommon wondrous item.
and yeah, just is that what the little like symbol is up on the top left, like above the description of the item?
Let me see. It's staying at 6,000 gold pieces, so yeah, maybe in this one it's different.
What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Alchemy jug? I thought it was an uncommon wondrous item, so it should be, was it like 500 to 1,000 gold pieces typically? I'm trying to remember the chart for magic items, the rarity.
In 5th edition, it is considered a wondrous, uncommon item, so it should be not too expensive.
Yeah, that's
the
where
one in
Ono's.
the one in Ono's thing says it's worth 6,000.
Yeah, it's not going to be worth that much.
It's because it's
Okay.
filled with health potion juice and mayonnaise right now.
Actually, I think it might just be mayonnaise. However, I don't think that expires. So, you just have a jar of freaking mayonnaise
long
for
as
your
it's not
Sammys
the-
whenever you need it.
As long as it's not
You
the kind
should
that's
be able
like
to
made with
change
like
it each
fresh
day.
eggs or whatever.
No, I don't think
There's
so.
like one type of mayo that's like that can go bad real fast, but the other kind is like basically like immortal.
These are facts. His would not be the fresh egg kind.
Okay.
So, where we were before the potty break, he essentially, I think he said 3,500 pieces. If you wanted to buy the Flame Tongue Rapier. For notes for everybody, just because not everyone is proficient with every type of weapon, you can train to, like, I do believe in the idea that if you train with a weapon, you can gain proficiencies. So for example, like warlocks are only proficient in simple weapons, so rapiers would not be proficient for a warlock. But if you really badly wanted one, you could train with someone who is proficient in said weapon type, such as Victoon, or I believe, doesn't Aethros have proficiency in all weapons too, or is that only certain weapons?
I have proficiency with all weapons and all armor and shields.
So it'd be someone like Bigtoon, Athros, or I honestly think also Ibrin, because rogues, I believe, are proficient in rapiers. Like, you could train
You
with
should
them
be.
over time and gain that proficiency. It just takes time to
Okay.
do so.
I think I'm technically like proficient in everything.
You are. You, like, clerics, rangers, and fighters, and I think maybe barbarians are, like, proficient in, like, all weapon types. They're just, like, they know how to use a weapon that they find in the wild and don't have to worry
Yeah.
about losing the ability to use it. So, as he describes the price to you, he's sitting on his bed. It's sitting on the shelf. Was there... Well, he mainly has the blades, and that's like the wondrous items that he has available. That he still has from his travels. They are, in fact, available, and he would be willing to part with them. Whether you choose to now, or never, or need to think about it and come back to Bryn'Shander at a different time, or later today, like, he would look to all of you and be like, they're not going anywhere.
That's fine. And if I find anything real cool that you can use to intimidate more people, certainly let it go to you, as long as I'm not actively using it.
That
That's
gave
fair.
Athos a great idea. And I show him my Spirit Breaker hammer. You could really intimidate people with this hammer.
That is quite a piece of equipment you have there, Athros.
And I
I
toss it
believe
to him.
that's new too, isn't it? I don't think you had that last time I saw you.
No, I don't think so. Intelligence check.
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, you're right. I didn't have it.
I knew there was something different about you. One of the things that I like to do is, when I see newcomers, and, well, not just newcomers, but when you were all first here, I considered you one, obviously, and I like to take a look at what people wear. It's an old mercenary, sizing up your opponents sort of thing. And even just in the short time I've known all of you this last, he looks at, he starts counting on his fingers, 3, maybe 4 weeks, 3 weeks that I've known all of you. I can tell that you've all grown. It's really nice seeing that there's some people here that can help defend the town. I'm only one man, and yeah, I know we got the guard, but you've probably seen how sporadic and how scarce they are nowadays. It's nice knowing that there's people like you out there.
Yeah. So I eye him up, and I'm trying to think. So, who do you think would win in a fight, me or you?
Well, judging by the quality of the armor that you're wearing and the equipment that you carry, I think it'd be a close match. And he has a smile that comes over his face.
No.
Yeah, it's really hard to read him right now. He almost seems to be playing out a battle in his head. I've seen some of the way you fight. That dome that you can summon to... I don't know what it does.
Ooh.
But I would say that just because I am beyond my prime, I'll give you the edge. I'll give you the edge in our hypothetical bout.
Okay.
If you want to test
Note
it
to self.
sometime, I might have to pull one of these off the shelf. He laughs, sitting on his bed. No hostility, nothing, just enjoying good conversation with friends.
Athos makes a mental note to himself. Maybe don't rob him.
Should we change your button in 1 minute?
Sounds about right.
He's got a lot of cool stuff.
I'm so angry.
Something that
I don't know me.
I try to do for those that I care about, as you all should
Oh
know
my
now.
God.
When I see something that's out of the norm, or something that might impact those that I I value. I try to make note of it. And that's why back when, well, before you all met Kanit and the kind of person that he was, I sent you all a warning. Not sure where you guys were headed. I sent it out to several places. I don't do that very often, but when you have people coming here to the north that, well, don't originate from here, or, you know, maybe are only here passing by, and show their true colors, and he just starts rambling off like an old man would. When I have concern, I like to show it. So, if you ever get things from me, please know it's because I care.
Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, appreciate it, man.
Mhm.
I should probably go see how Layla's doing and
Oh,
see
yeah,
how,
yeah.
see how that's going. But
Yeah, should probably check out the Northbook, see what they got.
if you want anything, just, or you know, if your viewpoints on what I have change and you think you might want them, please just let me know. They're for sale.
Yeah, we'll do, man.
Sentimental, but they're for sale. And we kind of guide the party, who went downstairs back up to the main area, the commons, where the tables and the hearth and stuff like that are. And he would pour each of you, should you want it, a glass of a tankard of some form of regular ale on the house. To friends.
2 friends.
Beers.
I raised my tankard from the fireplace.
As I say, he'd make sure that you're
Overhearing
topped off.
conversation.
Yeah. As
I stole it. I
as
didn't even stop at one drink. I just absolutely I house it.
and compared to what you guys drank yesterday, this is a very, very light ale by comparison. Like, the alcohol content is nowhere near what you had experienced. God fucking damn it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Drinks. You would all be in the same room now, so you could engage, like, you could have conversation amongst yourselves without, you know, my interference.
Damn.
I'll be BRB. It shouldn't be as long this time.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, maybe we shouldn't rob this guy.
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
I like him anyway.
He's got a
so,
lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, like, I like him anyway, so it's a kind of a moot point right now, but I agree, if things change in the future, yeah, it might not be the same.
Yeah, like if we're short on gold and really need something and don't plan on ever going back here, maybe rob him.
Or if
Yeah,
he
I mean, if-
dies, just make sure,
I mean,
like, first
Oh
place
yeah,
he's
that's
not.
the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, if we took him 4-on-1, I mean, like, it's not even a question.
Yeah. But you gotta do it sneakily, stealthily. Yeah, is there anything you guys are actually looking for as far as like magical items or even non-magical items?
I mean, we've kind of talked about it in the past. I don't know if he'll give us anything but it's yeah, it can't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah.
I really don't know what my character would need. I was hoping I could get bracers for just more armor, like making me a little bit harder to hit. But
So yeah, you'd want like bracers of protection or a cloak of protection. That would give you just like a +1 to your AC.
otherwise, if we go back to East Haven, I think it was, wherever that enchanter was, I could see if he could make it a +1, 2, or 3 studded armor to help out.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna get a +3 unless he's gonna curse it somehow. +2 would still be expensive as hell. Because that's usually where it gets up to like 5,000 gold just for the base enchantment for a +2.
I got
If they're
3
nice
on me right now.
So yeah, and like a +3 is 50,000. Like the scale of magical items, it's not linear. So very rare, I think, is like 50,000, and then there's a tier above that that's absurdly expensive, and never gotten that.
Just change your create food and water to creating platinum and gold. Somehow.
Yeah, we
Wait.
just gotta. I know it's not how the alchemy jug works, but we just gotta melt down 1 platinum piece and put it in there, and then we'll just
That-
have.
We asked
Well,
that in the
that's where the
beginning.
cancer
We're like, what
ended.
if we put
Yeah.
liquid gold in there? He's like, no, no. I was like, damn it.
But he didn't say
Wow.
platinum, or even copper.
Find the most expensive wine, put it in there, and then just start selling barrels of it.
Right?
No, it'd probably be poison is the most expensive
Oh, true.
liquid in the game.
We're not
something
trying to
like that.
kill people though, but
But
if they
sell
wanna
it,
get
you can
drunk,
sell it for
whatever.
a ton of money.
true. Kenny, what do you guys need? Poison? We got you.
Yeah. Where's I
You
gonna
have a
look
book
up?
on poisons.
Sí, cocinar y sería listo.
Yeah, that's a good question. I might want to consider to see if there's like a cloak to boost my AC
sorry,
here.
I'm back.
Something.
Should be the final time I have to get up. So sorry, my dog is having issues, but I'm here.
It's all good.
Okay, so you'd all have been in the main commons of the Northlook, enjoying some drinks, killing some time. Did you guys end up talking about anything at all that is of importance for me?
Not really. Just talking about magic items, what everyone wants.
Got you.
I mean, I'm down to start heading to the Morning Lord. See if they got some potions. Should probably also make our mosey our way to the town hall and see Duvessa.
Is that where everyone wants to go?
Yep.
House of the Morning Lord?
Yep, I'll head to.
Okay. As the party, like, you have some drinks. Scramsex should provide you with a little bit of food too, just because he has some stuff available as they're getting ready for dinner time at this point, since it's about 7-ish p.m. You have about, I think, just under maybe 6 hours before the armor and stuff would be done. You'd make your way, taking some of the side streets in Bryn'Shander, and like as you walk through these side streets, you see that there are several houses that seem to have been, like, they have some sort of marking on the side. I would say Athros and who else? Actually, yeah, it'd be. I would say all of you, because you all have higher than 10 for your passive perception. You would see that, like, as you're walking through, that there are several houses that have, like, some form of marking, like, etched into the, either on the door or on the side of a door, or, like, they're boarded up, with the marking on the pieces of wood that would, be, like, boarding up the doors. And no lights on in, any of these houses as you, continue to traverse through, the side streets of Bryn'Shander. On your way through there, you would pass by where you guys decided to explode the head of Sephic that time, and it kind of fills you with, while the moment itself was all in good fun, the realization of what it had done kind of gives you, for a little bit, or as long as you feel you would, with the exception of Mirus, because he wasn't there, a feeling of a slight dread as you would continue walking past and eventually see the bright symbol of the House of the Morning Lord, this essentially like rayed sun emblazoned on the side of the church. Yeah, like the church's steeple being the highest point within the actual grounds of the house. As you make your way inside, passing by several acolytes that are, I guess, either conversing with each other or like you would see a couple maybe leaving the House of the Morning Lord and making their way into town, entering the main like the church itself, where you guys have encountered Mishan before, where the side room was for Copper Knobbelknocker. You would enter that the main area, and you would see like Mishan talking to one of the acolytes over along the side where Copper's like private quarters were. And as you enter, the door itself would like creak behind you, and she would like look over and see your familiar faces, greeting you with a affirmative, like I guess acknowledging nod, and then a small smile as she places her palms together and just tells to the acolyte with her, "May the Morning Lord guide you." And they like nod to her and then scurry like into one of the back rooms of the church. Yes, I see familiar faces. Broken. How can I or how can the church, the House of the Morning Lord, be of service to you today? It's wonderful to see your faces once again.
All right, so I know you might be apprehensive. I mean, you know us. We're the heroes of Bryn'Shander. So, like, the folks over there at Black Iron Blades told us that you got some real cool stuff here. Real dangerous shit. Can we see it?
So they told you about the items that that we don't let the public know about. Funny how they're so easy to give away that information. But that's not a conversation that needs to be
Well, I
had.
might have greased their palm a little bit, so don't worry. I mean,
Well, we're also here to see if you have any potions of healing or a recipe we could get from you to make on our own type stuff. We're here for multiple things. We're also here to see how you and everybody else is doing. So how are you?
Well, given the current climate of Bryn'Shander, I think we're managing as good as we can. There's a lot of families with dynamic shifts, there are some children who've lost their families as a whole, some families that have lost their children. But I think, given what could have been, I think we'll be okay. The last time you were here was when I believe the dragon attacked, and at least that's the last time I saw all of you. If you've passed through since then, I was not aware. I know you've only been gone for really a few days. But Duvessa and I are still not on the greatest of terms, but she's doing remarkably better. The healing sessions that we've been doing with her have been paying off. She seems to have tamed her temper a little bit. I think overall, we only can do what we can, and those that you follow, those that we follow, whatever deities they be, they're looking out for us in some way or another. As far as for healing potions, she would just like call out for like one of the acolytes that's like the same one that had gone back to like do whatever, makes their way out at some point. She kind of calls them over. The broken are looking to maybe purchase some healing potions. How many do we have currently on reserve? I know that the town guard has a few of them on their person, and we've been kind of supplying them to, well, help make the peace. How many do we have currently sitting in our back room? And the acolyte would look to her, and she would look to the party. This being, they're probably familiar in some way or form, but conversations have not happened between yourself and this particular acolyte. And the man would look back to all of you. We currently have 5 on hand. There's more that are in the process of being made, but they won't be ready for a few days yet. And that order is supposed to go to the town guard requested a few more to just keep in their own reserves. But we have 5 that we could part with, if that's their fancy. And Mishan would look to the party. Would 5 be sufficient for your needs right now?
Well, I really don't feel good about taking it, considering it's for the town guard, and y'all have been through a lot, so maybe we can go back to the dwarfs and see if they can hook us up again. I'll pass.
What I can do, I suppose, is we do have, you also mentioned possibly a recipe to be able to make your own. I could put something together for you to be able to supply yourself with potions, though, if I'm being honest, unless one of you is fluent in knowledge of herbs and how to manipulate them accordingly and extract elements from them, it might be hard for you to make them. Is any of you able to do that?
Oh, what are we?
The above table, what they'd be looking for is proficiency with an herbalism kit.
Oh yeah,
No. I don't have that.
I could buy one.
Oh.
I could obtain one.
I got +8 to medicine. I'm proficient in that.
If you feel that a recipe would suffice you in the meantime, I will draft up a recipe for how we make healing potions here, and you could take your hand at it.
Could it be a picture recipe? Because I don't do words.
I could try to put a picture recipe together for you. Or another option would be if one of your friends here is able to read you what might need to happen, maybe you could do the handiwork while they read you the instructions. Does that seem... It's like meeting somewhere in the middle. I apologize if that's not sufficient.
Well, let's stick with the picture.
We could always... Oh, I was going to say, she could give us the normal, and we could have somebody make you the picture book.
Fine. But I'm not going to have anyone read to me. That's belittling.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I will have someone, and she would look to the acolyte. Fetch them. Could you draft them a copy of our recipes, or a recipe for healing potions that we do here? The town recognizes these people as heroes of Bryn'Shander. And she looks to the acolyte a little bit more seriously. These are the people I've talked to you about, known as the Broken. And they would their eyes would light up for a moment. Oh, well, I had an idea, but I didn't want to assume. Yes, I will make a copy of our recipe. If I look on that now, I could have that done for you by the time you guys leave here, since it sounds like you have some business with Mishan. I'll take care of that now. Thank you. May the Morning Lord guide you. And they would give you a bow, and then I guess kind of in a hurry, but more composed, would head back in the room of which they came, And Misham would look to all of you. Right. You had mentioned the items that I carry, that I keep from public eye here within the church. Follow me. I will take you to where I keep them, and we can talk about it more there. And she looks around, and there's one maybe person in town who's praying right now. She's been kind of keeping that hushed tone to show respect to what they're doing, and guides you all. Should you journey? I mean, you don't have to. I'm assuming you will. If you don't, by all means, you don't have to.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
She would guide you into a different door than the Alkalite had gone through, on the far right side of the room instead of on the left side. And just as if you were, when you were following Scramsack, she would take you down a set of stairs. This set of stairs is probably the equivalent of a flight and a half. And there would come to a steel door that is, you would see her pull out a very nicely decorated key, the symbol of the Morning Lord, that burning sun, on the edge where you would hold the key itself, and then she clicks 2 different locks. These are heavy tumblers. You feel as though this would be a hard room to try and break into if you were not proficient in thieves' tools. Is
there a way that I can try to see what she's is it a combination lock or a key lock?
It's a key lock.
Oh, okay.
As she turns the second tumbler, you would hear some kind of some mechanism on the inside of the door begin to churn. It squeaks a bit, this door not being used very often, as she pushes it forward, turning a handle, and the door creaks as the hinge allows it to open into this rather small chamber, no more than maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. It's a rather small room. You see that there are a couple of different boxes that are in various points. One of them's on some form of crate. The other one's on another's on a shelf. And then there's a larger chest in the far right corner of this room as you walk in. And she the last person enters, she would turn the door shut. It's not that I don't trust other people in the church here. I just have to make sure that I'm being as safe as possible. I'm not saying that all of these items pose an immediate danger to the people of Bryn'Shander, but I don't want everyone knowing what's down here. And all of you have, like you said, have proven yourselves as honorary members of this town to be the heroes that we needed in a time of desperation, and for that we're all grateful. Yes, I do have some items here that might be of interest. They've been left here for one reason or another, or have been, let's say, sold to Elza and Garn over at Black Iron Blades, and I would help them identify what it might be, them not being as proficient in skills such as that. And upon identifying them, I would see them as an item that is best not fit for the public to try and buy, or in a couple of cases, items that I know that nobody in town would have been able to afford. So people such as yourselves coming through, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. And she would grab a small jewelry box off of a shelf on the far left side of the room, which I guess far really isn't that much. It's a 10 foot by 10 foot room. It's not that far away. She grabs a box off of a shelf, a small jewelry box, and she would open the box, and you would see inside is a amulet, almost like a guitar pick in shape, where the main jewelry would be, with a lightning bolt carved into the middle. This item here, what I've been able to perceive from it is that it is some form of amulet that allows you to teleport, which is rather nice. It seems to have a shorter range from what I can gather. The person who left it here seeking refuge, is it was their payment to the church, seeking refuge after some form of mishap. If I remember correctly, this was about 15 or so years ago. And when they arrived to us, the only piece of clothing they had on them was this amulet. They were freezing to death and a bit nude. And they came seeking refuge in the church, and as a thank you, they left the amulet here. But it seems as though they weren't that far away. I should specify. Where they said they teleported from was, by my estimations, about 20 or so miles away. And when they teleported, they ended up in the middle of town and had nothing on their back except for this amulet. They were a bit embarrassed. They wouldn't tell me exactly how they ended up in the nude, and I didn't really press them too much for questions about it. But I have a feeling the amulet might be tied to it, but I never really wanted to test it to confirm.
Why not?
Well, let's say the amulet did have something to do with them appearing to me naked. I didn't feel it desirable to put myself in that position.
Oh, so you're a prude. Okay, cool, got it.
I think it's the human body's natural state. It's the way you were born, and it's going to be the way you go out, most likely. So
So I said they're a prude. No big deal. It's all good.
it's a little cold up here. I get it.
It's simply a risk I didn't want to take. And while I could have had one of the members of one of our acolytes test it for me, I didn't feel it fully necessary.
What about a funny prank though?
I could see it being used for such a purpose. Like I said, he never told me why he was naked. He merely sought refuge and gave this to us as a payment for taking him in and providing him with warmth and clothing. As she like closes the jewelry box and then puts it back up on the shelf that she grabbed it from. Another item that I have here, and she would grab a different box on the opposite end of the room. Again, a box sitting on the shelf. This one being a little bit bigger, maybe about like I'd say 7 inches by about 10 inches. She opens up this box over by the party and then pulls out some form of wooden instrument. What the real world reference to this would be a kazoo. I don't really know how to describe it. We'll just call it a kazoo for the sake of easy. Have any of you ever played a kazoo before?
But I bet you Irini has.
As she's currently not with you.
You blow into it, right?
Yeah, no, I mean I was just like saying it aloud, like to the rest of the party. Like I bet you she has.
Mm-hmm.
This one, when played somewhere, I would say, I mean, you could test it in the middle of town. When playing this kazoo, it has the innate ability to summon animals to the person who plays it. However, in the experiences that we have had with this particular item, the animals that hear said kazoo tend to be hostile to you when they appear. I would be lying if I said that someone did not try this at one point and got attacked by a horde of stray cats. They weren't at lethal risk or anything, but needless to say, they were very much.
Aethros is trying to sneak over to blow this kazoo.
Okay. as she's like describing the kazoo, she's holding it in her hands and she's
Yeah.
like looking at like Ibrin and Bictun and Miris, and like she would see you as you're getting ready to like pucker your lips onto the kazoo, and she'd be like, I would prefer that we didn't try this right now, and she would like pull it away from your lips that are like getting eerily close to the device itself.
Making over
But it would be so much fun.
If you want to use this item,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
ask that you make a donation to the church as a payment. I don't want stray cats wandering into our establishment or other creatures that can hear this instrument. While they tend to keep to themselves, and you've probably seen them wandering the streets somewhere, there's an abundance of stray creatures inside and outside of Bryn'Shander's walls. I don't want them in the church.
Okay. I'll think about it.
Thank you for your understanding, Athros. She would look at the party and then take the kazoo, put it back inside the box, and then put it back where it was. And then she would open up the larger chest that is on the far right side of the room on the ground. This one itself requiring a lock to open in comparison to the other two. And she would pull out everyone would see her pull out a small dagger with a skull on the edge of the hilt, where you would like at the bottom of the hilt. This dagger, fair warning, I have recognized this item as an item that is cursed. This dagger was left here under our possession by someone who was traveling north through town about 5 years ago. They pleaded with us to help them remove the curse from them so they could be free of its burden. This dagger itself, it's a rather powerful item in that it deals more damage to a creature or a person than a normal dagger does. It tends to leave them with a pocket of necrosis wherever you stab them. Their flesh seems to be, deteriorating in that point. But what makes it dangerous is the influence it has over the wielder's mind. This item, according to the person who we took it from, it hungers. It requires a constant feeding. And when I say constant, I suppose I should elaborate. You need to feed it once a day. It's almost like taking care of another person in your party. But if you don't feed it, it will do whatever it can to force you to feed it.
Is she holding this right now, or
She's currently holding it in her hand.
I take a couple steps back from her?
The person who brought it here, who we took care of and alleviated it from, said that it would whisper to him. And one of the reasons why he was pleading with us is because he had not slept in several days, trying his best to avoid doing what the dagger wished. It almost is compulsive. It forces you into a mindset. Should you not voluntarily use it to, let's say, stab a creature or a person, it wanted him to attack the nearest person to him. And by the time he got to us, he was pleading with us to stop him, but he was swinging it quite wildly. It took several of us to subdue him, and I would be honest, I would be lying if I said that one of us did not suffer a wound from it. They have since healed from said wound, and that person has been long since taken care of, mind you. But it has this overwhelming ability to convince you to stab the nearest person to you, should you not use it to attack someone once per day. It's a very hungry dagger, very dangerous to the public. If this got out to the wrong person, well, we'd have another Sefik Caltro on our hands, I'm sure. As she would show the party, like, it's a very jagged looking dagger. Like, you can tell that whoever had this was not a great person. Whoever created it was not a great person, I should say. I don't know how many people it's been through. I don't need to know the answer to that, but it's here under lock and key with hopes that it will never be used again. But again, sometimes people are persuasive and demonstrate their restraint and control. And she would put it back within like the sheath that it would come with, and then place it inside the chest. Now, I have 2 more items here that are of particular interest. One of them, I personally feel is more dangerous than the other. She would pull out what looks to be an idol of sorts, like something that has been engraved out of obsidian. And it seems to be like a, you would see that it's like, it almost looks like a, God, how do I describe it? The torso and head of a very distorted human being. No, like, there's one singular eye socket that you see in the center, and wrapped around this creature is a plethora of hands and a few tendrils that seem to, I don't know how to describe it, like weave its way around the statue all the way up to, like, the top of the head. Someone came to Bryn'Shander. Actually, it might have been, we might have received this one from Torgs themselves. I'm sure we have a lot of people who trade up here in the north, bring us items from places much farther south. And I think Torgs was the one who brought it here. They said that they purchased it and they were, well, regretting the purchase. It seemed to, the idol itself seems to, the eye socket will follow whoever is closest to it. And you, like, look at the eye socket of the idol, and since she's the closest person, you would see it, like, looking up at her. It's, like, eerie, like, crimson, deep red eye looking at Mishan. But as she, like, extends her hands, like, outward, not to, like, hand it to someone in the party, but to, like, put one of you closer, you would watch as the eye eerily and very quickly darts to the nearest person. It has a very sinister aura about it, and I suspect that there's something deeper tied to it. I don't know 100% if it's truly a cursed item, but wherever they got it from, well, I feel as though should it be returned to where it came from, that something beyond our comprehension might appear, or maybe I'm an overthinker, a pessimist, but it gives me of an aura of something from the far realm, something that doesn't belong. But it's been, from what I've been told, it hasn't actively done anything. No one said that it's whispered to them. No one said anything about it in that regard. But I don't know where it came from, and I know it doesn't belong in the hands of someone on their shelf as a paperweight. So I've kept it here. And then she would take the idol, and, like, as she pulls it back towards herself, the eye once again locks onto her, looking up in her direction as she, like, holds it at, like, waist level. And she, like, looks at it, like, directly in the face. Out of all the items here, this is the one that I'm most worried about, and that's saying something because I haven't talked about the last one. And she would place the idol, like, back within the chest itself, and she would pull out from within the crate, a small what you would see as like a larger rendition of like a box of cards. This item here, if I'm being honest, it scares me. It is, well, the person who had it, I know this item is cursed, and I know that because they wanted to be alleviated of said item, and they couldn't willingly part with it. It seemed to have a hold over them in that regard. So we removed them from the curse, and we took it into our possession. The person described this item as, by drawing cards from this deck, that it would cause either a good or a bad thing to happen. You would recognize the concept behind this as a variation of the deck of many things. But the way they made it sound was that it wasn't just like, sometimes the effects that would happen, sometimes it would allow them to, let's say, cast spells, or sometimes it would, well, I think they mentioned that at one point they were traveling with companions and they drew cards from the deck and they turned into a potted plant. It's not the most dangerous item here, but it's the one that is so sporadic and random that I worry about random commoners using it in town. They could kill themselves. But I feel as though people such as yourselves, who maybe are more equipped to handle magic such as these, I wouldn't feel weird parting ways with it here. I should say that while I do fear the idol and I don't like any of the other items, your group has demonstrated a sense of composure and a sense of strength. The name is known here in the north now. I feel as though any of the items here, I would feel comfortable to some extent. And she would her voice would crack a little bit when she says that. I would feel as though you might be able to handle anything within this room significantly better than most other people. Maybe, when the sheriff was alive, I would have felt comfortable with him handling some of these items, or Scramsacks at the Northlook. But I wouldn't trust our town guard or random commoners, like I've said. This is really a special collection of items that I think require delicate hands.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I need that deck. I want it. I want it so bad.
When you say you want it so bad, how badly do you want it, Big Tune?
Oh, I don't even think you begin to know.
I just find it funny. You find this is more dangerous than a dagger that needs to stab somebody every day. And for some reason you haven't destroyed the dagger. But regardless, how much for this deck of stuff?
I would feel comfortable parting ways with this deck, given its sporadic nature and the people that I know it's going to. If you, whether it's one of you or as a group, made a gold donation to the church in the amount, and she looks at all of you and looks at the deck of cards in her hand, in the amount of 1,500 gold pieces.
Oh, I throw my bag at her.
Oh my.
I was kind of half expecting 15,000 or 20,000 for some reason, but alright.
Given the sporadic nature of this deck and how dangerous it is, I could have asked for a more sizable donation, but factoring in your reputation and the level of care and concern you demonstrate for this town, I merely ask for that amount and hope that once it's in your hands that I never have to see it again.
Real quick before we get too far, I may have missed it. Was there any sort of extra above table description about that idol that I missed?
It was really what you saw was that it was carved out of obsidian. It had a singular like eye in the center of its socket that seemed to latch onto like the person who was closest to it, and then it had a plethora of hands and like tendrils that wrapped around the humanoid-esque looking appearance. And she suspected that it like the aura that it gives off to her most closely resembles like connection to the far realm in some way.
Can I make like any sort of check to see if I can determine what that is? Like what it would do?
Yes, I would allow that.
What about the teleporting one?
That is cool too.
Like, it made him go 20 miles. Was that the only use? Is it multi-use?
Right.
Can I
What
go
about
20 miles?
like an Arcana check?
I would say Arcana would make the most sense to
Okay.
me for your check.
What else? I'm thinking. Well, the victim did not know or care.
The only thing that you can think of in this situation is, and it feels reminiscent to when you would travel with the Strong Shield clan. You know that like you also like your clan did have like idols and stuff that like were carved out of like sometimes depending on the creature that you fought, they'd be carved out of like ivory or they'd be carved out of like bone or crafted out of a material that you had found. But generally speaking, they weren't really magical in nature. They were more so just like, you know, like they would carve some form of like idol that represented a historical figure in your
Right.
in your clan, but nothing magical. This one, like even just being in its presence would give off a like a slight feeling of dread that honestly at points reminds you of the Child of the Red Sun. Though
Yeah, I don't think
appearance wise
that's
it feels nothing, so you just feel the same level of like you can kind of
Unease.
understand what she means. Like there's probably something eldritch tied to it.
Right. Okay. Then I, without any further hesitation, take out the 1,500 gold pieces and
Wait.
give them to
Make
her.
her take the first card.
Nah.
No.
I
We
would
get all
have
the
to
cards.
refuse that particular offer. I'm not going to draw a card from this deck. And I do
But it
ask
took you
that
so
should
much
you
fun.
decide to draw a card from the deck, that as I, warned with the kazoo of that summons animals, I do ask that you please do so outside of the grounds of the church.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh,
We totally.
Speaking of that kazoo, how much would you like for that?
She seems to believe you, Aethros. You feel as though you were somehow persuasive.
She should have an advantage on that roll. She should know better.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Let me re-roll once. Nope. Did not go the way I wanted it to. Rolled a 9 and a 6.
Okay.
So, thank you for that, Aethros, for that reassurance.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Speaking of the kazoo, how much you want for that too? Got more.
I would.
Or how much does the I should say? Not you. I know you're not. I am okay with donating to the church, kind of. Maybe.
Given
If we get the cool stuff.
Given the less lethal nature in my experience with this particular item, and she would like pull it back out from the pull off the box off the shelf again. If you add an additional 750 gold to your donation, I will part ways with this with you as well. Done. Okay. She would with the deck still within the box, she would take your gold. So take off, it was 1,500 plus 750. That's 2,250, I believe, off of your character sheet. And I'm going
All done.
I'm gonna add these to your particular inventory. With information that you should know as a group, the deck and the kazoo, neither of them require attunement, meaning anybody in your group can use it. So if someone's like, hey, let me draw some cards from that deck, they could draw cards without the attunement.
I feel like I need to, at this point, change my alignment to neutral or chaotic good.
Yeah.
Or chaotic neutral.
They should be under the tools of your character sheet now.
Sweet.
Now, what about this teleporting thing?
You're looking
I'm trying to see where the alignment actually is now.
regarding the amulet of teleporting. Given what I know as the limited range of the amulet and the state that the person was in, although I can't confirm that the amulet is directly tied to their nudity in our town, I would say and again, because it's not something that is a direct threat to our people, I would say for another $850 in gold, I would part ways with the amulet for you as well.
Do you know how much I can use it? Unlimited?
From what it sounds like, you can use it once per day. That's what I could gather when I identified the item, was that you could use it generally once between you taking time to rest. So I suppose if you didn't sleep, hypothetically, you could use it a few times during your day, or if you took a midday extended nap, you could probably use it multiple times. Above table, you can use it once per long rest.
Gotcha.
Oh, is this do I know this deck to be like full? Like, has it been used?
It is a full deck of 97 cards.
97 cards.
97,
All right.
damn.
Oh,
So yeah, I give Victor a look like, be pulling a card right here, right now?
I'll actually reveal the vault to you guys so you can see the items again. It'll be under homebrew items under the 5th tab. Let me just change ownership of the folder. You should all be able to see the folder. Let me see if it changed the items to...
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So the 5 items that she had should appear for you now.
I love the Eldritch King. That just sounds cool. That sounds like a fucking cool ass like album name.
Yeah, I thought about adding it to my band name list. Or at least album title. Like, that sounds like a power metal band name. Power metal band
Shitting.
album title.
I look at Aethros and I'm itching to leave now.
Why leave? We're in a perfectly safe room right here. Let's do this.
You assured me, Aethros, that you would not do it here.
I said I wouldn't use the kazoo in this room.
You didn't see his fingers crossed behind his back?
No, I just promised I wouldn't use the kazoo in the city. I didn't say anything about this deck of things. Deck of things.
I would
as much as I want to.
recommend that you at least move to the grounds outside of this chapel. If you refuse to do it outside of the grounds themselves, at least leave the building. If one of you explodes, it will be too much time to rebuild this the sanctuary to our people.
Will it explode?
Oh,
Hang on.
Okay, she has to contest that shit.
Is the deck open right now? Or is it like a closed card deck?
I don't know. I guess it depends on what Victoon's doing.
I'm
a
ashamed to
saving
say
throw.
that I had fallen for your bluff before.
What do you think,
Shoot us
Dakota,
off through your
like-
deception. I'm sorry, what? I missed that.
What do you think? Like wisdom or constitution saving to hold off on pulling one right?
I'm gonna
That's
say
like a willpower. That's all.
I would say wisdom.
That's
I
what
would
was thinking
say-
too.
If you're gonna hold off, I would say do just a general wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Okay.
Well, is the deck closed, like a card deck closed right now, or
Yes,
is it open?
there is like it's actually like it's in like an actual card case. So like the deck, there's like a button that you would pop open to pull the deck out. So it's within the case. So it's not
Oh,
currently open.
So if
Okay,
I
they're not-
wanted to sneakingly open it while he's holding it, what would I have to roll?
It would be.
Well, I mean,
Sorry, I interrupted you, Nick.
I feel like my paw would be so big that it would damn near cover the deck.
Yeah, it would be a stealth check at disadvantage.
Okay.
I don't know if you could stealth that. Like he's looking at it. How would you? That's more like a reflex faster than him to try and get in there and.
But I'm gonna try something, Dakota. I want you to let me know if you can see this. I'm trying to self roll out. I'm just curious.
Okay.
Can you see that?
I can see that you roll the dice. I do not see the numbers on said dice.
Okay, well, Victoon will hold off.
Okay.
I'll tell Aethros, let's just go outside.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, Mishan. Thank you. This is
And-
exactly the kind of thing I was looking for.
Please just
I practically run outside.
like two kids who just got like a pack of Pokemon cards. You all just take off out of the
yeah.
store.
What
out to the
Pokemon?
street.
You mean a pack of firecrackers?
Yeah.
Something, whatever you were super interested in as a kid. That just your heart just starts
You-
racing.
You may have just given us the wedge to derail this entire campaign.
Oh, trust me, there is some real shit inside this deck. I'm going, for reference, I'm going to make a separate channel inside our thing for observing that will identify your rolls after you roll them. I have a spreadsheet, man. I am just waiting. This was my epiphany in the shower, okay? It is not a normal deck of many things by any means. It is
Is
It is
this like
absurd.
fully homebrew?
It is a fucking homebrew deck of many things.
Hell yeah,
Hence
dude.
why it is the wild deck of many surging things, if there's any indication because of that.
Yep. I am officially changing my alignment to chaotic.
I figured that would be the case, and that seems very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Victoon's hands are like shaking holding this thing because he's so excited.
May
Open it,
the
open it,
Morning
open it,
Lord
open it.
guide you as you all like take off up the stairs.
Yep. Morning farts and larts cart.
I mean, I know Ibram was interested in the teleporting.
Yeah, we can resolve everybody else in
Yeah,
the
let's
room
do
first.
that while you guys take off outside. Ibram,
I
I'm sorry.
would walk out with them. I was hoping it'd be multi-use, like just one time. And I gotta be naked in the cold. I'm not
Again,
that hairy of a person. I got
I
the
don't
beard,
know
but
if it
that's about
would
it.
make you naked, but I have a feeling
What's
that
wrong
it
with
might
being
be
naked?
tied to it. May the Morning
much
Lord
fun-
guide you.
But actually, before I go,
Yes.
Maris, are you getting anything?
I guess what's left?
There's a dagger. There's a
Yeah, the
teleporting.
creepy dagger that'll make you a murderer.
Huh.
There's a dagger. There is the Idol of the Eldritch King and the Amulet of Teleporting.
Mm,
Oh,
guys,
does that idol do anything with your hand? You know, like does it start to
That-
burn at all?
huh. I don't know. Can I put my hand up to the idol and see what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. As you put your hand on the idol, I'll say make an Arcana check for me.
Like advantage?
Yeah, is this where we learn that Mirce is actually an eldritch being? It's like, oh no.
You when you like once your hand gets close to the idol, you would watch as like the eye while staring forward without anybody touching it would like lock onto you. But as you place your hand on it, you can feel the like the aura that Mishan had mentioned coming from the item, something sinister, something dark, something definitely that's currently suppressed, but it doesn't seem to react to the marking on that like you have that like occasionally appears on your hand. You don't feel that kind of reaction from it, but you can feel the dark presence that she had mentioned.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and take this idol thing then.
Just as I've mentioned with everybody else, I would, given the threat that I feel this item carries with it, I'm both ashamed, but also I feel I would need, if you would donate 1,800 gold to the church. Should you wish to take it with you? I know that's a sizable amount, and it doesn't seem to have anything that has a truly active, well, other than its presence, anything that it seems to do. Just the negative energy it gives off makes me fearful.
I think I can give you 1,800 for that.
Okay.
For the idol of prolonged eye contact.
Yep.
Prolonged eye contact.
The idol of uncomfortable silence.
Hey, it fits perfectly with me.
Well, you, as you, like, give her the gold and she would, give you the item, there's no, like, nothing that, like, would, there's nothing that, like, she gives you with it that would, like, cover the item, no, like, protective, like, cloth or anything. It's made of obsidian. She's not really too, like, worried about it. But she, like, as she gives it away, you can see, like, a bead of sweat kind of, like, roll down her brow. I don't know how to feel about this situation. I never really thought it would ever leave the confines of the church, but at the same time, I will be glad once it is out of our town. I'm sure you've felt it too, but I don't know if it came with you or if it's just coincidence, but I feel something similar residing within our town currently. Something dark. I don't know what it is. I can't identify it. I'm merely a priest of the Morning Lord himself, but this isn't the only dark presence I feel. Do you know where I'm coming from? Do you feel it too, Miris?
I think I can kind of feel it too.
It's reassuring, a way, I guess, to know that I'm not alone in that thought, but also, again, between a rock and a hard place, it does not make me feel well, and I hope it disappears quite soon. Your friends are... I worry about what they're about to do. May the Morning Lord guide you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Please do take care, Miris. And I do hope so for the rest of your friends as well. If there's anything you or your party needs, please, by all means, let us know. And I will say, too, like, Ibrin, as you get upstairs, you would see the Alkalite who had, like, went to the back and, like, crafted the copy of the recipe for healing potions. He would be waiting for you at the top of the stairs. You were the one who requested this, right? What was your name? Ethrin, I don't remember your name, sir. I apologize. I just know you're a member of the Broken, and that you have a very nice-looking beard.
There'd be like a slight, like, eyebrow twitch at first, and like starting to make a fist with the right hand, and then just relaxes it. It's Ibrin. Thank you for this.
You're welcome. I hope it serves your purposes to their truest intent. May the Morning Lord guide you.
And you as well.
And he would nod and, like, give you a respectful bow, and kind of wait for Mishan to come up, as I imagine maybe Miris and Mishan would, like, come up together. as Aethros and Big Toon have left the chapel itself, and
How much was that dagger?
the dagger would be a sizable 1,250 gold pieces.
It was 850. What happened? Oh no, that was the ring. Never
That was
mind.
the amulet, yeah.
We gotta pay you to become murderers and serial killers?
It's
Pass.
more so it would stay in the confines of the church, but you're not even there right now. It would stay within the confines of the church, but it would be like you donating to the church would make her feel better relieving it to somebody else.
Why don't you relieve it to the Black Irons and they can just destroy it? Ugh, all right, I'm done. I'm getting a headache talking to people today. I'm gonna walk out.
As Big Toon and Aethros, you being farther ahead of everybody, are you within the grounds of the House of the Morning Lord, or are you out of the grounds of the House of the Morning Lord? Very specific question.
Literally, as close, with being respectful, I wanted to, be off of their grounds or whatever, like she said. But we didn't go any further. It was like, okay, we're not on the grounds.
Walks out the door.
Out the door so fast that within a second, I was out of the grounds. Like, okay, we're in a good spot.
Yep.
Okay, you are outside of the grounds of the House of the Morning Lord.
Okay, so we were just talking about it. We have some questions here.
And I am here
On the-
to give you those answers.
Functionality. So, see that it says we have to draw 2.
Yes.
Minimum.
What kind of... Is there a cooldown on it? After the finishing of all the drawing? Let's say, I draw 2, I draw both, and then, what's the...
So, the deck itself, there is not a cooldown, meaning you could say how many cards you want to draw, minimal of 2, and the cards themselves, I can't say the cards themselves, I can't reveal features until you use it for some of it, but, if you designate you want to draw 3 cards, you draw your 3 cards, the effects happen, and then somebody else or yourself could say, I'm going to draw 3 more cards, and then you could just keep drawing cards until either, you die, or great things happen, or whatever happens.
Yeah, I don't necessarily expect to be like, I draw 2 cards, and then 4 seconds later, I draw 2 cards, because, shit's gonna go down some way or another.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you have amnesia, I would really hope that, you take things one step at a time, but there is no cooldown.
Yeah.
You could just keep going.
Okay. And,
I was just
it's not like
concerned
a 1 draw
we
per,
don't walk
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, so I'll look to Aethros. What do you want to do?
Pull cards, but I suppose you did pay for it. You can have the honors of drawing first.
Okay, and then I guess we inherently know that we have 2 cards, or instructions, or
she would have. I didn't disclose it with her. She would have disclosed that the person who previously had it said that no matter how much they tried to draw 1, that even if you said you were drawing 1, a second one would appear in your hand if you only drew 1.
Okay. Then I guess I'll 2 cards.
Oh,
And
dear God. I'm so scared.
I guess I'll pull the first card.
Yeah, is that just roll a D100 or?
I got you. I am responsible for the card. I will take care of the draws for you. You draw the cards, I take care of... Wait, no. You know what? It'd probably be better for you if you were the one, if you knew what your number was.
Sure.
So, I'll tell you
I was
what.
gonna say,
Roll
kinda
2
curious
D100.
Okay.
I am
didn't you say
so
it's
scared right
97?
now.
We'll just re-roll if it's above.
If it's those certain...
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
Okay, so you rolled a 77 and a 48.
Oh, you can actually just put 2D97.
Interesting.
Oh,
And you got
thank
the
God.
exact same number.
Okay,
The bug?
your first
Oh,
card.
I got 80 and 45. You got 77 and 48. I mean,
What's the total?
Yeah, that's wild that we
That's-
both got a 125.
That's
Oh, that's
that's
fine.
crazy. So
Aethros is now paranoid just a little bit. He doesn't know why.
So, Big Tune, as you, I want to say, I was a little worried for a moment here, but as you draw your first two cards, what you see, as you draw the cards, you look at them initially, and they look like, for the first couple moments in your hand, two blank white cards. As, you look around at Aethros, like, what happened? You see that the first card in your hand, you would see
77?
out of the 77, out of seemingly thin air. Not sure again exactly where this is coming from. You feel a small gust of wind surround you, and what you would see is ethereal butterflies and flower petals begin circling your current position. The butterflies themselves, like, occasionally landing on your armor, fluttering, and then, like, taking off to, like, fly in circles around you. As 77 is illusory butterflies and flower petals flutter in the air within 10 feet of you for the next minute. So a very, very tame effect.
That's a good introduction.
The second card.
And do I see that?
Yes, everybody who would be
Okay.
near him, so like if the party begins wandering out over the course of this minute, would see butterflies and flower petals, again, appeared out of nowhere, maybe like emanating from the card itself or something, would flutter around you for the next minute. As you look down and you see like this appearance, you see that the second card, now appearing from that white sheen, you would see the image of what looks to be a tiny gargoyle, and at your feet, you would see a homunculus appear, and like the card itself, like almost as if the magic itself emanates from the card. The homunculus appears at your feet. You've seen Ono craft a homunculus known as Gebetto. This one, very similar in appearance. No more than maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall. I would say we're gonna say a foot. We're gonna say a foot tall. A little winged creature of sorts, again appearing like a gargoyle, just stares up at you with this absolute blank face. Does not say anything. As the minute passes, as like the party would like catch the entrails of the illusory butterflies and the petals, you see that the homunculus stays in your presence. What you would know about this, having like you gain all the information if there's extra things from the card as you as the effect takes hold. You roll a 48. A homunculus appears in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. The appearance of the homunculus is determined by the DM, and the homunculus treats you as its creator. So you have a pet, essentially, that appeared out of the card. It just is staring up at you, looking like a little gargoyle guy with some small wings.
He's not like, Dad?
Yeah, I tell it, go get me some food.
And
And what does it do?
without saying anything, the homunculus scurries away from you, venturing without a true destination to find said food, takes off in the town looking for food for you.
I look at Aethros. Dude, I got a butler!
Alright, now I want to draw cards.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, do I do 2 like you, or do I do 3? Do I do 4?
Yeah, just do 2 for now.
Yeah, we got safety.
Yeah.
We'll get through all of them.
Make a perception check. I would say either of you, since the two of you are right here. Athros, the deck does not appear to shrink. As the effect of the cards disappear, the cards themselves reappear back in the deck.
Okay. So it's always 97 cards?
There is always going to be 97 cards in the deck.
Okay. I mean, so if I just roll all of them...
So what happens if I try to like shuffle the deck, like thinking like, okay, let's get some different ones?
Oh, yeah. That felt good for me.
Am I able? I mean, like I know it's Magic.
You can
Yeah,
you could
okay.
shuffle the deck as if it was a standard deck of cards. The cards themselves appear white until the effect takes place, so
Sweet.
you could shuffle it if you want
Yeah.
to, make an intimidating appearance, like rolling up to a Magic the Gathering tournament with a giant stack, but
Yep. Okay, I shuffle
yeah,
it and I
I'll
offer it
just
to Athros. I still hold on to it though.
Oh, yeah. Naturally.
Oh, dude, if you would have drawn a 48 like me, that would have been nuts.
Yeah. I'm more
46
worried about the
and
6.
6.
I don't know if there's like the range where it's like low is bad, high is good, or if it's just completely random.
okay, you're gonna have to roll 2 additional dice for me.
Okay.
Starting with the 46, I need you to roll 1d6 minus 1. Of course you get lucky. I mean, what? Athros, as you hold the 2 cards in your hand, you again, similar thing. It takes a moment for it to take effect, a couple of seconds, and you see the image of what looks to be like, almost like a food, a hungry individual, someone who seems almost skin and bones. And as you look at the effect of the card, you feel slightly overwhelmed with fatigue. You take 1 level of exhaustion.
Ooh.
God damn, you guys are getting really lucky on your rolls. I just want you to know. There's not. I would to preface. There's not a shit ton of super detrimental things, but there are some character-ending things within this deck.
So there is something where like you could just flat out die. From
Oh yeah,
drawing
100%. I kept
Ooh.
a lot of the good shit, and I got rid of some of the stuff that was a bit beyond what I felt was necessary. But there is some real shady shit inside this deck.
Okay.
As you,
I mean,
That's good.
have I caught up to him yet?
you would be, I would say the party could be together right now. Like, enough time has passed where you guys could have left the House of the Morning Lord and could rejoin. Like, you would have caught the tail end of Big Toon's fluttering butterflies before the homunculus just appeared out of nowhere, and then you told it to go get him food.
I mean, if Big Toon lets me, I'll draw the 2 cards I rolled for.
Let's wait. Oh yeah, no, it's fully resolved now. Yeah.
the first thing we have
Sure,
to
why
do,
not?
though, beforehand, because Athros is the one rolling
Yeah,
for the
that's
deck
still
right
my
now,
only card.
I need you to roll... first off, I need you to roll a d20, just a flat d20.
Now, when you said that you're gonna have like a separate tab or whatever to keep track of this, will we have access to see like what they were?
Yes. I'm going to put
Okay.
them all in the chat, so you can see which ones were rolled and
Okay.
how many of them are still a mystery. I need you to roll a d10 now.
Oh no. The more dice, the scarier it gets.
How do you
Damn.
get so freaking lucky? Okay, hold on.
2 more levels of exhaustion.
Athros.
Death.
Everyone around Athros would watch as, in a similar fashion to Spit, when you all encountered the ghost that aged him to a buff young goblin, you see Athros, I would say, grows a little bit in stature, and maybe has a little more beef to his muscle. Haircut, exactly the freaking same. You age forward 2 years. I was really hoping you would have rolled odd. The D20 was determined if it was even or odd. Odd, you would have gotten younger by 2 years, but you age forward 2 years. Does not affect your stats, but you are now 2 years older, so that means technically 2 years closer to death. To be
I'm
pessimistic.
You're reading too.
Or am I 20? No, I'm 21.
Yes, you feel, while still overcome with a little bit of fatigue from the level of exhaustion, you feel a little older, maybe a little wiser, but you feel older.
That much closer to reading now.
Oh no. That much closer to not caring at all about ever reading.
Okay, and then Ibra, you were gonna draw 2 cards as well.
Yep. The numbers were
80
Let's
and
go up.
45. You know what?
I mean,
No,
are
I'm
those
gonna have
numbers
you re-roll that
valid,
because
or
you
is it
rolled
yeah.
2d97. Make it a 2d100.
In fairness, that is what Ben rolled too, but
Oh, really? I'm sorry, I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
For shits and
Oh,
giggles.
was I supposed to roll D100?
Yeah, you roll a d100. There's a couple numbers that designate re-rolls for me, like or for you to re-roll one of the 100s. There's like 3 of those
Okay.
scattered throughout the deck. But we're gonna have you re-roll them anyway.
Yeah.
There
You
we
didn't
go.
know the first time that rerolls.
16 and a 55.
Can you imagine if I still rolled 125 again? That'd been hilarious.
Okay, Ibrin, as you roll your 16, you feel that you have control over whether or not you want the second effect to take place.
oh,
This is, in the deck of many things, the card that you wouldn't have to keep drawing cards if you like designated more than 2. But given that you have to draw 2, I'm giving you the ability to choose whether or not you want to have the second effect take place. It's the get out of jail free card almost.
Can I keep the card? Can I get out of jail at another time?
You can certainly try.
No. You gotta choose now.
What is the second effect? Let's go.
Okay, so you decide to let the second effect take place, and you would watch as like the card that manifests the first one. You would see it almost appears as though it's like a church-like shrine, which is just saying like we got your back, as like a form of sanctuary. Willingly choosing to let the second card take place. Okay. Ibrin, as the second card takes effect, you start feeling hot. Like, really, really hot. Like, I feel like I'm on fire. And then, out of nowhere, you and any flammable objects that you are wearing and that you touch burst into flames. I want you to roll.
I pee on him.
I want you to roll I'm gonna say a dexterity saving throw.
I have no clue to roll.
As you
22.
I would imagine, not wanting to be on fire, you begin rolling into the snow to try and put the fire out, and you feel as though you are following typical fire safety procedures. But the fire does not go out. It seems to last until it lasts for the next minute. So, as you are burning, and your armor that you are currently wearing, that, given that it's some form of leather armor, would be flammable, is currently on fire, and you're like trying to actively put it out to prevent damage. Everything that you touch that is considered flammable starts on fire.
I pee on him.
As Big Two whips out his schlong.
Is his pee flammable?
Yeah, gotta put it out.
Yeah. No, anything I touch turns to fire, so would his stream hitting me start turning to fire and run up to his shaft and then turn him to fire?
It's anything that's flammable. That's the key.
Yeah, I mean peas.
I mean, we don't
Otherwise,
know
the
if
snow.
your
Otherwise, the
pea
snow would have
is
caught on fire.
flammable.
Hold on. Is urine flammable?
It's I don't know. Is Leonin urine flammable? That's the other question.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it is not considered flammable unless you are ingesting alcohol, which you did the night before.
And
True.
he
So
did
I'm-
about an hour ago at the house.
Yes, you
for
did.
Scram sacks.
So
That
I'm
was
gonna
a
say,
beer. That was a white beer.
I'm gonna say, as you are trying to urinate on Ebrin to put out the fire, I want you to make a Constitution check, as
Okay.
the stream would begin igniting. Of course, as you see your stream ignite and begin making its way towards your exposed genitalia, you, in the effort of a typical person trying to assert their dominance inside a bathroom stall, squeeze a little bit harder, and over the course of the remainder of the time that the items are on, that Abrin is on fire, you actively keep the stream from reaching your exposed body parts, and it does not ignite you. Ebrin,
Does it help him?
It does not.
I feel like with it burning as hot as it is, it wouldn't even reach me. It would like turn to mist beforehand.
Yeah. all you smell it.
No, it's a powerful stream.
I would like to reiterate, Ebrin, I rolled 4d6 for you to take for fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
You take 8 because 3 out of the 4 rolls were ones.
Yeah.
So, over the course of that minute, while it's charring, the items that you have, like your armor, it's still leather armor. It's very charred though. Like, you would probably want someone to quote unquote buff that out. But it is still intact as of this moment, and you take 8 fire damage. And
then can you go ahead and roll a 1d8 for me then?
I absolutely can.
Or technically it would be,
It would.
depending on how you want to do the damage, depends on how many times you'd have to roll that.
Yeah, if we're going by like combat rules, if it's like, let's say it's every round, wouldn't that be like 10 rounds?
I would say over the course of this. Ooh.
Yeah. That damage can blow for a minute.
Given.
I mean, I'm fine with it. If you want to do 6 more,
Because
go for it.
in my opinion, I would like to assume you didn't just stand there and just burn alive, like the flaming torch.
Spontaneous human combustion.
I would like to assume that you were doing something to try and put out said fire, to stave off maybe some of the damage. If you chose not to, I will roll more fire damage for you.
Roll one more. Just one more d8 or whatever, d6.
Yeah, then there'd be like
Was it?
half damage, essentially.
Yeah, make it an even 5.
I distracted you too much with my peeing.
I rolled 2d6 because why not? So you would take a
That's
total.
not half.
I would take. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh, heal people.
Your total amount of fire damage that you took over that minute is 17 fire damage instead.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now how many?
Good roll in the second round.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many rolls are you doing for me to heal back up here?
Currently figuring out how many it would be till you got the full health.
While this is happening, I look over at Mirrors. How many cards are you gonna pull?
I think right now I'm not going to try to tempt fate. So.
Ah.
It would
Okay.
It would be a
go
total of
ahead.
4, Ebrin. It would be a total of 4.
Are you able to adjust the hit die yet, or no?
No, I haven't figured out how to do that yet. There's
Okay.
gotta be something I can do to do it. I just have not figured out how to do it yet.
I'll just write.
Well, then, after seeing all that, I feel like Big Two needs to make another wisdom check to stop himself.
Make it,
Oh, yeah.
given the temptation, make it at disadvantage.
Sounds good to me.
And especially with Mirrors not pulling any cards,
Yeah,
it's like,
there's
come
the
on.
temptation.
You're letting
There's
him
the temptation to
down.
pull it for him.
Oh no! Oh
I'm
no!
not
I would
pulling these
also add-
cards. I'm doing it for you.
I was gonna say I would also add fuel to the fire, no pun intended. Like, hey, I already got this card. What else could there be? You're not gonna get 2 bad cards in a row.
This sounds like
Fuck,
an Always
these
Sunny in
cards.
Philadelphia episode. Just waiting to happen. I'm not gonna get 2 bad cards in a row. Big Two gets 2 bad cards in a row.
3
I
cards.
draw 3 cards.
Oh, you soul, you. Okay.
Wait. Before you pull the cards, Victor, if you were to per se perish from pulling these cards, who gets all your stuff?
That's a good
Fight to the death between everybody.
I can take everyone. Yeah.
I will say your homunculus has not returned yet. He is still finding you food.
It'd be a shame if I had to use this new dagger I got here.
Okay.
Did you end up buying the cursed
I'm
dagger?
making a deception.
Oh, got you. Make a deception check. And I mean, I guess if Athros wanted to make if you wanted to contest it, then it'd be deception versus insight.
I mean, I'll do an insight just, yeah, like,
Yeah,
I know you didn't get it, but it was a weak little necrotic dagger. Who cares? You gonna stab me with a butter knife?
Thank you.
244. It's nice seeing these high numbers.
That's damage that you take?
Still no
Okay.
duplicate.
I was gonna say they're all 3 new numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't that first one have been 1 more though?
Wait, I'll draw 1 more if we want to do an equal 4 cards.
Nope.
Nope, you can't draw just 1 card. You gotta draw at least 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Big Tune,
I
Big
don't-
Toon,
what are
Big Toon
you?
puts the cards away now.
What is Big Tune thinking the moment he draws the first card?
I certainly can't catch on fire like he did.
I don't know that Big
Why
Toon's
did
thinking.
Garrett draw a card?
Yeah. If anything, why is Mira such a lame ass?
Oh no.
Oh. Miras and everybody within the party would hear Big Tune think that in the back of your mind. Big Tune, you now gain telepathy within a range of 90 feet. And there's nothing saying that there's a duration, so I think you just have telepathy out to 90 feet now.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great.
93.
Is that
Ooh,
Right.
this is gonna be even better. First off, I'm very impressed so far. I have not looked to see what card 83 does. Oh, okay. So this is gonna be a very weird chain of events. The first card would be that of I envision like Xavier from the X-Men with the hand on its head and a little pulsing wave coming out of it, signifying the telepathy as that takes effect. 93. As you're thinking that, you hear the sound of a faint violin coming from somewhere within your vicinity. For the next minute, you are surrounded by faint ethereal music. And 83, as
It's
like
gonna come crashing down on me at some point.
I was gonna say, is like the music ominous? Like, is it crescendoing? Like, is it building? Or is it just like
it's just like
a
I think of it
solid
like
sounding?
it's faint ethereal music. Big Tune for the next minute has a theme song playing behind him somewhere.
He's got the Halo soundtrack going on right now.
And
Taking a warthog, trying to get to the end of a mission.
as
Thank you.
uh,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
as you think about Miris being a quote unquote lame ass, you watch as, and Miris, you would feel, you rise up into the air about 10 feet in a hurry as Bigtoon, you unknowingly, through the power of the cards, cast Fly on Miris.
Oh, wow. Oh my god.
How am I not gonna just sit here and draw cards forever?
Yeah,
So,
no,
Miris,
you
for
see
the
how
next-
they come down.
Actually, how long does Fly last again?
Oh my god.
Last longer than you think, like it's 4 hours.
Let's find out. It lasts for up to 10 minutes. Miris, for the next 10
Oh,
minutes, you can fly.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you drew 3, 2, 2, 2. So, I mean, you could draw at least 3 more and make it an even number.
I put him away.
Big Tune, you would see finally. You'd feel a nudge, coming from your pants that you wear, and you would see your homunculus has brought you from somewhere a plate of venison. From somewhere, it looks like it might have gotten into a small scuffle, and
Oh,
the
boy.
venison looks partially eaten, but there is remnants of someone's dinner before you on this plate. It like holds it up to you and just like stares at you.
Can you talk?
It stares at you blankly.
Does the
And you-
telepathy work with him?
Oh yeah.
What was that?
Does the telepathy work?
As you now I gotta
Get it?
check the rules
Get
on
it, like-
homunculi.
I guess I just want to see if it can like respond to me in like a way that I would understand, even if it's not like necessarily talking. Can I like nod or shake its head?
Okay, let's see. I would argue. So you feel as though like your telepathy that you have newly acquired, you feel as though you've reached into the mind of the homunculus to convey your message, but you feel as though it can only respond in like head gestures and like, you know, using its hands. It doesn't seem to really have a way of truly communicating with you. At least not that it is conveyed to you in any way, as its quote unquote creator.
Did you take this from somebody who was actively eating?
It would nod quickly and just like hold the plate up at you again.
I take the plate and give it 1 gold. Go take this gold to the person.
As it takes the gold in its hand, it looks at it for a second and then scurries off. Disappearing for an undisclosed amount of time. I mean, if the party's going to venture somewhere, eventually it'll find you.
And yeah, no like tracking, nothing. This is gonna wander until it finds me. Oh, that's great. Okay, yeah, I just say to everybody else, as fun as this is, and as dangerous as it was told to us, even though, I mean, outside of a little bit of fire, it really didn't do anything dangerous, but
Yeah.
I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. As much as I don't want to. So now what do we do?
Do we look for Ona?
I mean,
Well, we gotta go to the city hall, talk to Duvessive. Or we probably should.
Yeah, that might be where Ono is too.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it would have been Black Iron Blades are there.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Do you know how much time has passed since at least Black Iron Blades?
I would say time-wise, given the period of time you were with Mishan and the effects that were taking place within the span of pulling from the wild deck of many surging things, I would say your grand total would be it'd probably be closer to like 8 p.m. Garn's gonna work late into the night.
Okay.
To get your items done, so you have, I think it's about 5 hours left. So it'd be like 1 a.m. when your items are ready to go. So
Okay.
So
We got time.
you got time yet. More time to draw cards should you so choose later.
Mm-hmm.
I think given that we're going to be starting conversations with Duvessa, I feel like, and like the events that have happened with the wild deck of many surging things, I think we're going to call it there. I know it's like 3 minutes early, 2 minutes early. I don't have the 2
that's
minutes
fine.
early, but we'll pick it up next time as you guys like reach the town hall to speak with Duvessa Shane, who did Matra did mention that she was hoping to talk to you while you're here. So there's reason to talk to her. And we'll see where the party goes. I am very nervous because there's some really dangerous cards in this deck, and you've managed to avoid them. But I want to say, out of character, out of God, out of GM, I was fucking hoping that Aethros was gonna draw a bad card because you had 2 minuscule effects for your first 2 draws. It's like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? And just like the void, just like Aethros disappears out of nowhere. Not that I want that specific card, but just like, oh, it can't be that bad. It's that bad.
So I did draw 2 bad cards. I got a level of exhaustion, and then I aged 2 years.
This
I
is
was
true.
on fire for a minute. That's pretty bad.
But like, it's not like, disappearing into the
That's
void or summoning an
Yeah.
avatar of death or a fireball on yourself level of bad.
No, but
above
if you didn't roll
table,
like shit, that's 60 possible damage I could have taken, which is more than I have.
this is true. This is true. Above table, this deck is a cross between the deck of many more things and the wild magic surge table. So bad things can happen in combat, bad things can happen out of combat, and it is entirely up to your desire to destiny draw during any event you so choose. But
Or a good thing.
And to just be like
there
in the
are,
middle of the final boss battle and just be like, I draw 97 cards.
I will say, like, there are some really good effects in here. Like, there are cards that will boost your stats. There are cards that will reduce your stats. There are cards that will have permanent effects on you beyond anything short of divine intervention and wish. Like, your aging cannot be changed back without the use of a divine intervention or wish spell. So, just like Spit, you're permanently 2 years older. But there's just so many so many things, and I'm like, I would have laughed so hard if you got like a 5 for your exhaustion. I was like, that would have been the bad thing that would have been hilarious to me.
That would have been devastating. No, I'm looking at the deck of many things right now, and there's one called Book, where you gain the ability to speak, read, and write 2d6 plus 2 languages. That'd be amazing if Aethros got that.
Absolutely.
You have 14.
Yeah.
You go from being able to write and read nothing to 14
To being
languages.
the most versed scholar besides Miras, who can read all writing, like that would be the greatest thing. But there are just so
How do
many
I add
good
this
fucking
up?
things, and there are so many great things that like I hope you guys draw, and so many bad things that I also hope but don't hope you draw.
How do I add this telepathy to my character sheet?
Oh, I will go through these before next time, and any of the effects that are permanent, I will just make note of them on your sheets. Because otherwise, you could just make a new like feature and just say like telepathy 90 feet or like something. But yeah, the telepathy is permanent. So
Yeah.
while Ebrian has the ability to do it for a certain number of hours based on a die roll, you can just communicate with people out to 90 feet telepathically for free for as long as you want. Oh god, this is amazing. I was so happy. I'm like, if there's one item here you guys need to take, it needs to be the deck.
I mean, I feel like since I already kind of asked for it, I think once you put it in, you knew I was gonna.
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking about, that's why I was like, man, I'm going to turn off the stream for this part. Good night, people who will eventually watch this stream.